Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's a 30-plus year veteran and a well-known film producer, basically passionate about bringing new ideas to the big screen, small and more. He began his career studying acting at HB Studios in New York and the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute in New York and Los Angeles. He's also worked with Donnie Wahlberg, Rose McGowan, Will Arnett, and Amanda Peet, and also involved with Silent Partner Entertainment, 20th Century Fox, and Gigapix Studios. And he's got a new picture, which is a wild ride in the fabulous, fabulous world of Tyler Ferry. And who's this person? And his it's a holy mission from God to tell his family and stories and inspire his community. Yet the devil has plans of his own. And what is this? Is it another church movie? Not another church movie? We'll find out what it is. Live, ladies and gentlemen, at Plus Studios in somewhere in outside Los Angeles. The multi-talented, well-known film producer, passionate about bringing ideas to life. It's not another church movie. Ladies and gentlemen, multi-talented James Michael Cummings. James, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. It's great to be here.
Well, it's great to have you on board, James. You're a 30-year veteran known for passionate about bringing ideas into the big screen. You began a career with the HB Studios in New York and Lee Strasberg Theater Institute in New York and Los Angeles. You also worked with Donnie Wahlberg, Rose McGowan, Amanda Peet, and more. You were involved with Silent Partner Entertainment, 20th Century Fox, and Gigapix Studio. You also did City on the Hill, Werewolf, Southie, and you've had a amazing list of accomplishments. And you have a new movie, which is a wild ride in the fabulous world of Tyler Ferry, which is called Not Another Church Movie. Is it another church movie? I guess we'll find out. Before getting all that, James, tell us how you first got started.
Wow, Mike, you really did your research there.
Well, that's what broadcasters do. It's like, I'm old school, just like most people. You go to Lee Strasberg and everything like that. You learn from Walter Cronkite and all that. You've got to do your stuff. So,
okay, so let's see. I started out at HB Studios. That was the woman who had written Respect for Acting. And she was it's Herbert Berghoff. It was Herbert Berghoff and his wife she had written Respect for Acting. And I'll remember her name before this is all over and done with, but it doesn't matter. The thing is, I realized I didn't fit in at that school. And a friend of mine was going to Lee Strasberg Theater Institute, and there was a teacher there, and there were two teachers there, and one was Janet Ward, and Janet Ward was in a movie called Under the Influence with Gene Hackman. And then there was George Loros, who was, he was the guy in Serpico that shot Serpico in the face. He was the cop who flashed the badge and said, "Hey, Serpico, you made a couple of grand a week up there. Well, guess what? We make 40 grand a week down here, pal. And you ain't gonna screw that up, right?"
I love that movie. Who could forget that? Serpico, amazing.
So that was George Loros. And, when I got to his class, actually, I didn't really fit in that much either, because I come from Boston, and I was a real, true Bostonian, and a neighborhood kid, and worked in the city and grew up, and, had great jobs, and was, I give all when people say, who is it that you need to give credit for your career? Like, who is it you think about? Who is it that you aspire? Well, listen, it was Larry Bird that taught me how to be great.
Larry Bird?
Right. That guy, it's like, I used to work at the Boston Garden. I'd watch him running his laps, and I'd see him play that game. And I was just a little kid. And of course I was a big fan of his, and, but it's like, you'd see this guy. He wasn't Magic Johnson, but, he could play against him, and he wasn't, Michael Jordan, but he could beat him every time, so there was something special about hard work and dedication. And, there's a certain thing about acting and the word desire, and because an actor has one job, and after learning your craft as an actor, like anyone who takes on a craft, you take it on, and whether it be jujitsu or taekwondo or method acting, right? Like whatever it is, craft, right? And you take it on, and then what happens is like everybody else, you become, a journeyman in a way. and whether you like it or not, you're perfecting that. So like here I was in New York City, and I had found a teacher that I could believe in, and I had met Will Arnett, and he and I had become friends.
Nice.
So like it was wild because we were just young. Like I think I was 20 and he was 19, or yeah, or 17. I don't know. We were young, like, right. But him and I, we met, and um, he had a love in his heart for characters and to be other things. And he was easy to have fun with in these acting classes. And then, I learned through like method acting that it didn't matter that it's not that I couldn't remember lines or whatever. It's like I didn't really understand what acting was about. So what does it matter if you're remembering something if you don't know how to present it well, right?
Hmm.
So that's where the method acting comes in, and that's where, working with guys like Will, and then as I would go along, I'd have friends of mine that were writers, and then I'd be like, well, George Alloro used to say you have to create your own work. So I'd
Hmm.
find people who write this stuff, and I had these jobs. I was a bike messenger, and I worked at a tanning salon, and I was a doorman at a bar, and I saved up my money, and I produced a play. It was me, Will Arnett, and another guy named Dave McGochran, and it was this little tiny crappy play, and we did it in this little tiny crappy playhouse. But you know what? We turned it on. And what happened was that gave us a confidence to know that we could act on the stages in New York City, right?
Hmm.
And then, of course, Will and I went on to I wrote a movie called Southie, and I raised all the money for that movie. I wrote it with a guy named David McLaughlin, and John Shea came on board, and he became a director of the movie, and then Donnie Wahlberg came on board of that. So like imagine you're going to acting school and you're being told you can do something, and you're going every day and you have no idea can you do it. And then you do a couple of plays and you do a couple of independent films. Like I was in a movie called Ed's Next Move that won the audience award at
Nice.
Sundance, and I had a great little part in that. And then a year later, um, I'm making my own movie, right? 2 years later, making my own movie, and it's like it's just kind of amazing that there was a process there that I don't know is there anymore for anybody else. I don't know how anyone, because of technology, because of IA, because of taking away the experience, like what is it to make it? What is to go on a journey? Because isn't that what makes you talented? Isn't that what makes you great? Isn't it taking that risk and having to find out who you are and
Hmm.
up on stage in an acting class in New York City? And how do you turn that into a profession where now you're in the Screen Actors Guild, and then you write a movie in the Writers Guild, and then you're working amongst these great professionals that you could only dream of, right?
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't know how it happens.
Well, I can tell you one thing. A lot of it happens. We'll talk about some of your works and everything else before we get to Not Another Church Movie. And you talk about method actors. Who are some favorite actors and actresses, especially method actors and screenwriters growing up?
Oh, my favorite actors. Well, let's see, my favorite actors. My favorite actors.
Think about going back to the Boston days.
Well, no, I mean, that's what I want to go back to. I want to go back to those days because, you know, I always loved, you know, like the old movies, right? So I really love the old movies, and like William Holden, and as I get older, of course, you'd look and you'd see Gene Hackman, right? You'd see
Oh,
him,
I
you'd see
love
Robert
Gene
De
Hackman,
Niro,
my
right?
favorite. Uh-huh.
And but like guys like honestly, like Sean Penn, man, like being a little kid and watching him in that movie Bad Boys, and like seeing how cool he was, but how he was just great. And you could see that there was a vulnerable side to characters that he would play. And so you'd see guys like him do it, right? And then of course, you'd see Matt Dillon, right? I mean,
Yeah,
everyone forgets
Matt Dillon.
King of
I think.
Cool, dude, the King of Cool, right?
Oh yeah, I think remember him. It's like we're talking about all those ocean movies. What is it? Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, 13. It's just like, I think that just stood out right there.
talking about Matt Damon. But I was talking about Matt Dillon. But let's talk about Matt Damon. Matt Damon's awesome, right? Like, and look at Good Will Hunting. So that's honestly, Good Will Hunting's become kind of one of my favorite movies, which is a surprise because at the time when I made my movie Southie, they were making their movie at the same time. So you can sometimes get caught up where because you were close to something, like you saw something happen. Like, so when I saw that movie, it was so moving to me and so emotional. And then as time would pass, I would say, wow, those two guys like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, what they did was so special, right? And so I love that movie. Like, I really truly love that. I love let's see, like, I mean, see, Sylvester Stallone, what I appreciated the most about the movie Rocky even today is that it's an emotional movie. It's a movie where everyone can relate. It doesn't matter who you are, you can relate to that movie. You can use that movie to somehow inspire you, right? So what isn't that the greatest thing a human being can do is do something where not only they entertain you, but they inspire you, right?
And certainly it is. They also started a trend of drinking raw eggs, having a dozen and just guzzling. It's like that was like a dare most people did. It's like, hey, if Rocky can do it, so can you. So
yeah, and listen, I met Sylvester Stallone because I've written movies, and my movies would get bought, and then sometimes, they would end up in his hands, and next thing you know, he'd want to meet me, and I'd be down at Peninsula Hotel, and we'd be in a room together for a couple of weeks, and like reading through a movie and fixing it and whatever, and you'd almost get these things done with this guy, but listen, he's in such high demand. Just when you're going to do it, he's going to do something else, right? But that's the whole thing. It's like it's the journey, right? It's totally the journey.
and certainly is. And a couple other method actors that came to mind for me was Robert De Niro and going back, Jackie Gleason.
Man, I love Jackie Gleason. So, recently, I put on Smokey and the Bandit just to watch him, and then of course you get caught up in these movies. So when you say like, Smokey and the Bandit, Clint Eastwood, all these guys, but I look at my guys now and I look at, like, look, man, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, the flicks they're making. So Chuck McClane, this is how Chuck McClane, who I did Sitting on a Hill with. So Chuck McClane is a guy that I will say is probably one of the most important people in my career at this point right now, in me having a career. You know what I mean? Because of Sitting on a Hill. Like, so I made the movie Southie. That went really well. I did that with Donnie Wahlberg. Donnie Wahlberg, unbelievable, awesome, talented, can figure anything out kind of guy.
And certainly does. And you also did Werewolf as well, too, and some other films. I'll talk more about that with the amazing James Michael Cummings. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews. In Evil Evan enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com and over 40 podcast platforms. Heard in 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, also Apple Music, Odyssey, Pandora, and Radio Public as well, too. Also follow us on BitChute, Rumble, YouTube as well, and follow us on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and more. Take us with you on any mobile device. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com, check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast, t-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/me and Melson for great books like Missing, Once and Wrinkles, also t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/me and Melson. Check it out today and support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We're here, amazing 30-year veteran, well-known film producer from Boston, James Michael Cummings here on the Mike Wagner Show. Before we talk about his latest Not Another Church movie, you also did Werewolf as well too with Frank Grillo, and tell us more about that.
Wow. Well, that movie just got picked up in Cannes, UK. Today it was announced in Variety that it was the distribution rights were bought up in the UK. I'm so incredibly grateful to have even been a part of that project. It was, I had been cast in that picture, and they had another guy in the lead, and he was going to do it, and then it's just about to happen, and for some reason or another he fell out, and it was weird because I had trained for that role, I had worked out for that role, and I was ready for that role, and then that movie fell apart. So then I got a call that Frank Grillo was doing it, Stephen C. Miller was directing it, and I was getting the opportunity to meet Stephen, and Stephen gave me actually what happened was Craig Chapman, who's the producer of that film, he had seen me do an episode of City on a Hill.
Okay.
And so I had my head shaved, and it was a scene where I was in jail, and he called me up after seeing that, and he said, "Hey man, I got a role for you. I want to talk to you about a role for you." And I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah." So that's how it all began. I mean, and Craig, I have to say that because he's been a big supporter of mine. He's a big producer in town, and whenever there's a role that he thinks I'm right for, he not only does he give me the opportunity, he'll throw his 2 cents in there for me, and when you have somebody who can do that for you, that's great. So I got to meet Steven. Steven's an intense director, man. He loves what he does, and he knows what he's doing. So when you're working with a guy like him, you better be on your toes, and you better be prepared. So I met him. I knew what I had to do to be a part of that picture. And then, of course, the amazing Frank Grillo, dude. I mean, that guy, when he decided to sign on to Werewolves, it just brought a great sense of everybody knew what this movie was now. It's like he had done that movie, The Gray, right? That, if you think about it, with Liam Neeson, right?
Yes, I love Liam Neeson.
Right. And Frank Grillo did that movie with him, but he also did that TV series Kingdom, right?
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Right. So man, this guy, he is a serious dude who's a great actor. And this was the movie that he was going to get a chance to do his thing. And I'll tell you, man, he did it. He's a superstar in this movie.
And certainly did as well too. You're also involved with Peaky Boys and Mad Cowboys, and tell us more about those. And if there's other films you're involved with,
Oh,
feel free
let's
to
stick with
talk about those.
Werewolves, dude. Let's stick with Werewolves. I'll tell you
Sounds
what,
good.
that's coming out November 6th. Okay. I mean, that's coming out December 6th in 3,000 theaters. I co-star in that picture. I play Cody. I'm the next door neighbor to Frank Grillo's character, and we were in the war. We were in in the service together. And when this goes down, everybody's freaking out in the neighborhood. And, even though he and I have a relationship and he was my captain, tension's still high, and we still butt heads. You see, an intense movie, man. It's intense.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah. And it's like, this movie is going to be huge. It's going to be universal, right? It's going to be a big movie. And these guys, the producers, so Miles Nestel's the producer, and, Craig's a producer. Craig, they went to great lengths to make sure that they would do this right, you know. So like Dave Murphy, who worked on this picture as well. Like, see, there's so many people who worked on this movie that went above and beyond,
Hmm.
and now the picture's just screened at Cannes, and it just picked up, you know, a UK distributor, and it's like this movie's in the black already. It hasn't even gone to the big screen.
Really? And that's coming out, you say, December 6th?
December 6th, it comes out on the big screen, and then on Christmas Day, it'll be coming out on PVOD.
PVOD. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so Prime Premium Video on Demand. So that means it'll be in people's homes, and you know, in hotel rooms, like still in theaters. You know what I mean?
And makes a great Christmas gift too, if you think about it. So I'm marking on my calendar for sure. We want everybody to do that. Werewolves coming December 6th. And you also got,
Oh,
we're
Lou
going to
Diamond
focus.
Phillips is in it too. Lou Diamond
Oh,
Phillips is
yes,
in
yes.
Werewolves, dude, and he
Lo-
rocks it. He rocks
oh,
it.
my God. Lou Diamond Phillips. I love them in La Bamba. And when I saw it, I says, this guy's going to be one hell of a superstar. It's like, I love the guy ever since he debuted in La Bamba.
Yeah. It's funny, all the cast, I know them by their names, like in the names of the characters they play. You know what I mean? It's like I've been busy, right? Since I done that movie, I went and shot the scenes in that movie. That was they went fantastic. It was down in Puerto Rico. And then there's a final wolf fight, because you know, I don't want to give it away, but there's the final wolf fight, and that took place on the stages out here in Hollywood. Uh and you know, these guys, they spared no expense in making sure that these fight scenes were going to work. And we went at it, and they worked, and we worked really hard. And now you're going to see a movie. It's going to be called Werewolves, and you're going to see it over and over and over again, you know?
Well, that's going to be on my bucket list for sure too, and I'm making a note of as well too. And before we check out Werewolves as well too. And of course, we got Not Another Church Movie. And is it really another church movie? We'll find out one minute with James Michael Cummings. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios, and brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's here missing. We'll be back with the amazing multi-talent James Michael Cummings of Not Another Church Movie after this time. We're back at the multi-talent 30-year veteran, James Michael Cummings on the Mike Wagner Show. And he's done a lot of work, and also mentioned about Werewolves coming December 6th. But right now, we got this one church movie out there, or is it not another church movie? That's, about to be released very soon as well, featuring Jamie Foxx, Vivica Fox, Kevin Daniels, and Mickey Rourke. And tell us more about that.
Well, that is going to be coming out. So it went out theatrically, and um, it was, you know, we just cracked the top 10, and actually we're 11. And when we opened, and it was great, because we went into the box office, and something strange happened, because the movie came out, and then it made more money each day until the second week, where we had the natural drop off, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but what's amazing is the word of mouth, the response, and now that we're going to be coming out on Amazon, and on 6/28/2024, and that's really where we're going to be premiering, because you know, it's a huge audience for this movie. It's a spoof picture. Jamie Foxx plays God, Mickey Rourke plays a devil, but it's really about Ma Dude Hims. Ma Dude Hims is played by Taylor Ferry, who also plays uh the Taylor Ferry. It's Kevin Daniels, and he's an amazing actor, and he takes on these roles. And then we have Vivica Fox in there as Judge L'Oreal, and all these people. So Johnny Mack had this crazy idea to write this movie, and he wanted to make this movie. And you know, with the cast that wanted to do it, I just thought it was a good idea. And I got, you know, some friends together, and we put this thing together, and now it's going through its process. It's debuting.
Mm-hmm. And it certainly is. And if you're wondering what the movie is about, we'll just give you a super, super small hint. It's basically a wild ride through a fabulous world of Tyra Fairley. We're talking about that. And his holy mission from God basically tells families and stories to inspire the community, yet the devil has plans of his own.
And he does, man. He
Oh,
does.
he does. Mickey Rourke. Yeah, he's the devil himself. Yeah, he's a great devil.
I'll tell you why he's the devil too, right?
Hmm.
It's because the way that he took on the character, he showed up, he knew his stuff, and he made it simple. Like he made it simple. And so when, in the movie, as you go through it, it's just about like Taylor Ferry one day, just like the movie Oh God with George Burns.
Oh, I
Uh,
remember that movie. Yes.
it's similar in a way where all of a sudden God shows up and gives this guy a direction. And next thing you know, he's got to do all these impossible things. And and what we do is we spoof all the urban church films, and in doing so, it does a lot of callbacks. And we have a character in the call, Oprah Windfall, who's inspired, who is basically paying homage and spoofing Oprah Winfrey,
Oh
right?
yeah, I was reading that. So it's like I figured they're making fun of Oprah. It's like you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, but they really get cars in this one.
It's funny, it's like I don't even know if you can make fun of Oprah. I think Oprah's fun. You know what I mean? And I think if anyone's is making fun of you, doing a parody on you means that you've made it, right? Yeah. I think Oprah's
I
awesome.
will definitely keep that in mind for sure.
So, it's a to make that movie, to have that opportunity to, like, Johnny Mack had written the story. He was the, lead writer on the Real Husbands of Hollywood. He worked with Kevin Hart. I had met him at Jamie Foxx's house many years ago. Andre Barkoviak, who is a gentleman who made, Romeo Must Die, Exit Wounds, Cradle to the Grave, Doom as a director. He was supposed to direct the movie, and it was just one of those situations where we had a start date, we had to go, and the movie was, we had to make this movie. Andre couldn't make this movie. I said to Johnny Mack, you know what, buddy? You're going to direct this movie. I'm going to support you. We're going to put a cast to it. We're going to go shoot it. And then we're going to do that. We did that. We shot it. We got it done. Briarcliff, Tom Ortenberg came on. He saw the picture. He picked it up for theatrical distribution. We made a deal with Universal, who's taking it out. And that's on. So on. When you see this come out on Amazon, through Universal and home entertainment, it's like it's going to be there in your living room. You're going to get to click on it. You're going to get to see a spoof movie, something you haven't seen in years, with Jamie Foxx playing God and Mickey Rourke as a devil. And how can it get better than that?
The one thing I can see is amen.
Amen.
That's all I can say about None Other Church movie. And of course, you also got something upcoming as well, too. Talked about Werewolves coming December 6th. You've got Dweller that's coming up as well, too, later on. And tell us more about that.
Yeah, Dweller. It's a horror picture, and it's a movie that was not finished, so we picked it up, and we had to get the music rights cleared, and we did all of that, which is wonderful because it's a great picture, and we're excited about it, and we are planning that release at the moment, and that's going pretty well.
Oh, great. And when's the anticipated release of Dweller?
Well, we were talking about that today, and we actually can't even we have so many things to do up until June 27th that we have to stay focused on that one thing. So we're doing that right now. And then after that, we'll focus on Dweller. So Dweller's next. And then after that, we have Werewolves. And then after that, I have a movie called Everything Goes to Pot, which Valerie McCaffrey has written. And we would like to, she wants to direct the picture. And, we're thinking about people who can star in that movie right now.
Oh, okay. And when's that going to start as well, too, in the anticipated release? Everything Goes to Pot. When's that going to start?
Well, let's see. So November, let's see, December. I'm not so sure, because I'd say February, probably March, because that's when I'll probably be available and Valerie will be available. She's very busy right now, so we're trying to make that happen.
Okay.
There's people we want A-list stars to be in it. It's a great script. Everything Goes to Pot. You can imagine what it's about. There's a lot of actors and actresses we'd love to be in this movie. So We gotta get this stuff done and get moving.
And before it goes to pot, literally.
Yeah, before it goes to pot, before everything goes to pot.
But not the script, though, that's for sure. In the meantime, where can we find all your works at, including Not Another Church Movie?
Well, Not Another Church was in theaters right now. You can go to the theater near you right now, and you can go see Not Another Church Movie. It will be coming out. So this will be the last week in theaters, and in a week you'll be seeing it on premium on demand. So when you go onto your TV and you type in Not Another Church Movie, it'll come up on your screen, and you'll be able to rent it. You'll be able to buy it. You'll be able to do whatever you want with it. It's going to be there for you. And it is it's a comedy that people haven't seen in a while. It's irreverent and it's funny as hell.
And I like that one. Funny as hell. I'm sure everybody gets that. And what's your website and where can they find all your works at?
Well, if you go on to Amazon.com, I mean, everything's on there for everybody these days. They kind of run the show, right? And yeah, I think there, and I believe Hulu is where you're going to find City on a Hill. And City on a Hill was just the most awesome experience. I talked about Chuck McLean and him. It was wild because I really wanted to be in that show, and he was like, "Well, look, I got to go to Boston. I got to set this show up. Why don't you come with me?" And so I went there. We worked really hard. We set it up, and he got me an audition, and that got me on the show, and I got to work with Kevin Bacon and Jonathan Tucker and Amanda Clayton and all these great actors and actresses and Jill Hennessy. And the first season of that show was unbelievable. It was awesome, right?
Oh yeah.
And then the second season was awesome, and then COVID came, and I was on set when COVID came. So I had run into so Tom Fontana was the executive producer. So him and I, like, all of a sudden the COVID announcement happened, and I was going to get on an elevator, and he's getting off, and I said, "Hey, Tom," and he goes, "Hey, James," and I go, "What's going on?" He goes, "I don't know, but I suggest you get back to the hotel." And I said, "Yeah." And then I got there, and all of a sudden it was like COVID shut down.
Oh my goodness.
So we had already shot like the first half of a scene that I had to shoot, and now we were shut down. So now we went away for a whole year, and then I got a call, and they were like, "Okay, we're going to reshoot that scene." And they finished season 2. So we got season 2 finished. Season 3, they didn't really get to do what they wanted to do. They had to, that's where guys like Tom Fontana and having his experience kick in, because they have to finish the show for the network. Chuck McLean went on to write this movie that's going to be coming out right now with Matt Damon and Casey Affleck, and I think Ben's a producer on it. And that movie is with I think Doug Liman directed it. So he went off to do that, and season 3 went on, and then it didn't come back for season 4. And it was disappointing, because I knew the 5-year plan they had for the picture. And I know that's the amazing thing about when a strike happens or you go through a situation, the business changes, because it's like you're starting from scratch. You're starting a new garden, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it grows from there. And it's a garden of entertainment, and entertainment always finds a way.
Mm-hmm. And certainly did as well, too. We're here with James Michael Cummings of Another Church Movie, also Werewolves, coming December 6th, along with Dweller and More on the Mike Wagner Show. And James, a couple more things. You mentioned Chuck McLean and some of your influences. Who are some of your other biggest influences in your career?
Well, I mean, so John Shea was an influence. He was the first director that I worked with of stature, who had a passion for filmmaking and really, gave his heart and soul to this movie. Donnie Wahlberg, like I said, he's somebody that I think that I was lucky to meet him in my life and to work with him for the amount of time that I did. And, I think we did 13 movies together and a couple TV series. And, what I got to learn is from, like, that guy's a class act. Like, I got to learn, what it's like to be a class act in show business. You know what I mean?
Certainly did. And just another thing, what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
To
In general.
Yeah, to really to listen to the people you believe in, and to do your best. You have to be your best, and the best thing anyone can do is start the day with a prayer. Write down your lists of the things you need to do that are absolutely important in your career. Don't make the mistakes that so many people make, where you put your family last, because then you'll pay that price later. And just remember that you can do anything you want in life if you're willing to pay the price and if you're willing to write it down.
And that's really good advice indeed. We'll certainly do that. We're here with the multi-talented, well-known film producer, 30-year veteran, James Michael Cummings of none other than a church movie, Come Up Werewolves, here on the Mike Wagner Show. James, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Learned a lot. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We love to have you back. Again, what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out the goods?
Well, not another church movie.com, www.james-michael-cummings.com, and City on a Hill is, you can get that. That's Showtime. I believe it's Hulu. Blah 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 blah. Werewolves is coming your way, man. It's coming your way, and you'll be hearing about that in December. December 6th comes out December 25th. And let's rock and roll.
Sounds great. All right, James, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We love having you back. We wish our best. And James, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Thank you, sir.